Hello, everyone. A very good evening to one and all. It's time, and I think we can start. Um, First of all, my name is Sabina, and I'm a member of the Mahdi Bagh Youth Club and the moderator of today's session. The topic is an introduction to technical writing, and I thank Ms. Sabira Sultanji for presenting and imparting her knowledge to us today. It is my honor to welcome Mahdi Bagh Youth Club's President, Mr. Moinuddin Malak, Vice President, Mr. Nuruddin Malak, Secretary, Mr. Farooq Haq, the GB members, the heads and the vice heads of all the committees, and to all attendees present today. A very warm welcome. So before we start the actual presentation, I would like to say a few words about the Mahdi Bagh Youth Club, which was founded 10 years ago by our Honorable President, Mr. Moinuddin Malak. We have grown from Nagpur and reached across to several cities in India. We also have international branches in America, England, U.A.E, Singapore, and Australia. The mission of Mahdi Bagh is to conserve and promote art and culture and to work for the social well-being of all the communities around us. We organize events, art shows, and philanthropic activities on a large scale for the purpose of creating awareness and supporting social causes. It is our aim to help build a strong foundation for the youth so as to represent India to the world. And coming to today's session, we are grateful to have amongst us the very talented Ms. Sabira Sultanji, who is a certified technical writer from the Writer's Block in Bangalore. She is highly experienced with 9+ years of experience under her belt. She has worked with leading software companies creating technical documents for varied audience types. She started her technical writing career at the age of 35. Prior to that, she worked in the field of recruitment. And when she is not writing, she enjoys music, organizing and hosting community events. So without further ado, I will hand over the stage to Ms. Sabira. Can you please unmute? You're on mute.
Oops, sorry.
Great.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. Thank you, Sabina, for that lovely introduction. And I would also like to thank MBYC President Moin Malak, Vice President Noor Malak, and the whole of MBYC team for giving me this opportunity to present this session. And a big thank you to everyone who has joined this session. Okay, so today's session, we will be covering what exactly is technical writing, what are the processes involved, the skills required, how you will at the end of the session know what and how of technical writing and get an overview of the profession. You will also figure out if technical writing is for you and understand the difference between technical writing and other types of writing. To start, let's have an icebreaker kind of a question, just to see if you do have any idea about what is technical writing. Please know there are no winners or losers here. So go ahead and send in your answers. I will give you a minute and then progress. And the question is, which of the following do you think is part of technical writing? Please send in your answers. Remember, there are no winners or losers here. So please go ahead and send whatever you feel are part of technical writing out of these 5 options.
Sabira ma'am, I believe you will have to change your screen. We are only able to see the introduction to technical writing.
Now?
Yes, now it is visible.
Okay.
It is visible now.
Okay, thank you. So people, please Okay, the answers have started coming in. Don't think too much, just whatever comes to your mind, you can give the answer just by looking at what the options are. The owner's manual, copywriting, content writing, a brochure, a help file. Okay, so we have gotten quite a few answers, and obviously there are a lot of confused ones there, and we will come back to the slide again at the end of the session, and then let's see if you get the right answers. Okay, so let's start the session. Is my screen moving?
Yes, we can see the next
Okay.
screen.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with the very first question of what is technical writing. Technical writing is to write procedures and concepts and reference material for software, hardware products, appliances, and so on. It is to write in a way that the user using the product or the software can understand the steps provided and use the products to complete the tasks required. Technical writers generally write documents such as user manuals, installation guides, and so on. Now let's see what are the most common types of documents that a technical writer writes. A user guide. What is a user guide? I'm sure you all must have seen the manuals that come with your appliances like microwaves, refrigerators, and so on. These manuals help you to understand what features the appliance provides, how to use these features by giving you step-by-step instructions and images so you can relate the steps with what you see on the screen or the appliance that you have just bought. Well, these are documented by technical writers. And similarly, if you have used the Microsoft Word application or PDF, just open it sometime and click on the help word, which is there on the top of the screen, the help, right, which is there on the top of the screen there. And it will give you a lot of information about what features it has, how to use these. These documents are all written by technical writers. In a software industry, the user guides provide a lot of information on how to use a software. For example, say you have written a novel with lots of chapters, and now you want to create a table of content for it. You can open, and if you have written all that novel in a Word file, you can open its help and search for how to create a table of contents. And it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And there you can create a table of content without going to anyone for help. In a software industry, to use apps and various softwares, they need to be installed in a specific way. The instructions to do this are generally documented in installation guides. These contain more technical information than a user guide, such as the space required, the software space on the hard, and which hardware is required, their versions, and so on. A very small example of this would be the section in the user manual which tells you how to install a microwave. It would also show you the various parts it has, which wire should be plugged in and where, and so on. Though this is not exactly an installation guide, but for software industry, the installation guides are very important. Once the product, either software or any other product is installed, an administrator needs to configure it so that the end user can use the final product. The instruction for configuration is generally documented as part of administration guides. As you can see, all the different guides that are documented based on the audience. So the way a document is written or the language used in that document will also be accordingly. The installation guide is highly technical and the layman may not be able to follow it much. But the user guide will have much simpler language. And in fact, the technical writer may have to break down some technical information also, such that any user can understand and perform the required tasks. Now, that was about all the various guides. What are release notes? Have you ever updated the software on your phones and ever seen the notes or the information that comes with it, which generally says that certain bugs have been fixed or this particular feature has been added? Well, this information is part of release notes. It gives you information about what is new in that particular release. Do check it out when you update your phone software or the version next time. Now, on a lighter note, next time you need to explain to your parents or grandparents on how to do something on the phone or laptop, do not break your head. Search the help and send them the detailed instructions that they will be able to follow with ease. Okay, now that we've spoken about what is technical writing, let's see what are the tasks a technical writer does to produce all the guides we talked about. The technical writers or the documentation team generally follows a process called Documentation Development Lifecycle or the DDLC. The first task is to meet up with the developers or the QA, that is the quality team of the company, or the product owners who actually design the products and understand what new features they will be implementing in the current release. Gather all details related to it, like if any changes are being done to existing procedures to enhance it, or any UI. UI is the user interface that you actually see on your screen. That is, if anything is changing in the UI, ask questions to get clear idea on what the changes are. Once you have gathered all the information, you start with the second phase of analyzing the gathered information. Like, will the new feature need only task, or will the user need to know the concept behind the new feature? Is there any documentation already available for the related feature? If yes, can you reuse the available information or just update the existing information? Analyze if images need to be used or updated, and so on. Then, generally, you would also analyze the time it will take for you to complete all the required documentation. So you can be in sync with the dates or of the release along with the product. Then the next step would be the actual documentation, where you will write down the concepts, tasks, make the updates wherever required as required. Once the updates are done, you will send the document for various reviews like peer review, editorial review, and technical review. These reviews ensure that the document is technically correct, and the editors will ensure that the style of writing is what the company follows and that there are no grammatical errors. Also, whatever style any company may follow, there are some basic rules that the tech writer must follow when documenting, like always use active voice, do not use he, she to refer to the user, keep it gender neutral, keep the sentences short and simple. Following one idea in a sentence is a rule that most of us are told to follow, and try to maintain parallelism in the tasks that you document, and so on. All these information generally you would get in something called a style guide of the company. The next step that comes in the process of the technical writing is the reviewer then gives you their comments, and you then incorporate those and progress to the final stage of publishing, which could be in the form of a PDF or a help file. Now, again, I know this is too much information, so let's keep the mood a little lighter again. And on that note, this is what different people think that I as a technical writer do. My family thinks I do really complicated stuff like deciphering the hieroglyphics. The developers who give me information think I just copy paste. However, what I actually do is all the information that is provided to me that you are seeing on the screen will be edited understood. First, I would understand this, analyze it, what is the important part, and then present it in a form which is absolutely just to the point and easy to understand. I think before we move on to what skills are required to be technical writing, Sabina would has a message to give to you. Sabina, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sabra. And your session is going wonderfully, and I'm sure everyone can't wait to learn more. I just wanted to add that the session will soon be uploaded on our YouTube channel. You can all watch it again and share it with your friends and family. In a few minutes, I will be sharing the link to our Instagram profile, our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, and our YouTube channel link in the chat box. Please feel free to visit them and to watch all our previous programs. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. We will soon be posting the recording of today's session too, which you can watch again later. There will also be a Google form link shared towards the end of the meet for all of you to fill out your valuable feedback and suggestions. We will look forward to hearing from you then. So, all right, I'll hand it over back to Sabra. I will be posting the links while the session is on.
Thank you, Sabina. Okay, so let's move on to what are the skills that a technical writer requires. As we have seen, a technical writer prepares a lot of different types of documents, assemblies, assembly instructions, and tasks and concepts. So what are the actual skills that a technical writer would require? And the first one, which is very obvious, is the language and your command over the language. You must be able to write according to the company style rules. Verbal communication is equally important as you will be dealing with teams across the globe and you must be able to communicate with them to gather information and for general communications. Do you have to have a technical background to be a technical writer? No. It is a great advantage if you are from a technical background, like an engineering degree or so, but it is not mandatory. I am from a completely non-technical background. But yes, you do need to have a bit of a technical bent of mind so you can understand and grasp what the developers and others are discussing. However, believe me, you do learn a lot on the job. The next skill you need to have is, this is a pretty important skill you need to have, is you should be able to simplify complex things. Again, this does come with experience. It becomes easier with experience, but it is a good thing that if you know how to provide information in a simple form. The next skill you need is analytical skills. These are again extremely important as a majority of your work will involve analyzing the available information. There have been times when we have spent couple of days, 2-3 days, just analyzing the whole information given to us, coming to the conclusion that it does not need even one line changed in the existing documentation. So analytical skills are extremely important. And yes, you do need to be detail oriented to ensure that you do not miss documenting any information. And obviously, you will need to be a team player as you will be interacting and working with various teams. Time management and multitasking are also required so you do not miss out on delivery dates. Now, to accomplish all the writing and to be able to publish your documents, you will need to use some tools. And some of the tools that are generally used in most of the companies are FrameMaker, Arbor Text Editor, Oxygen, and Microsoft Word. Lot of these tools allow you to, all of the tools allow you to write, but other than Microsoft Word, the other 3 tools also allow you to publish your documents in the required formats, such as PDFs and or help files. And these are all set up, all the publishing processes are set up backend where you can, with a click of a button, you can publish your document as a PDF, you can publish your document as a help file, and then it gets integrated into the software too. Okay, Another quick quiz for you. Please give the answers. These are 4 headings that could be for creating a new folder. You are going through a user manual, and which of the headings do you think is correct or are correct? Okay, so let me give you the answer. Here, all the headings are correct. It only depends on what style the company follows. For example, there may be companies that follow camel case, where the first alphabet of a word is in capitals, and gerunds, which is an ing word, for the headings in their document. Or some other company may say, okay, we do not use a gerund, but we use a camel case. Some other company may say, okay, we do not use a gerund or a camel case. So it all depends on what style the company has come up with. However, once the style is decided and put in the style guide, all the writers that are writing will follow the same format for giving a heading. Now that brings us to something that is called technical writing style standards. A technical style guide would help a writer about the standard way of writing, the tone, the terminologies to be used, abbreviations, whether they can be used or not used, in what situations they can be used, the document structuring, the way you would write a task, whether you would begin it with a verb or would you begin it with the uh, purpose of the task, and things like that. Some of the standards are Microsoft Writing Style Guide, Chicago Manual of Style, Google Developer Documentation Style Guide. These are all easily available on Google, and you can Google to just see what a style guide would look like. Most of the companies, based on any one of these style guides, adapt and create their own style guides, and then all the writers follow it. Now that brings us to what are different types of writing. We have been only talking about technical writing, but I'm sure you all have heard more about content and creative writing than technical writing. So now that we have understood what technical writing is, I'm sure you will be able to differentiate between different types of writings. Technical writing, as we saw, consists of relaying technical stuff in simple language and presented in a way that a user can achieve the tasks that they want to perform. Whereas in content or creative writing, it does not necessarily provide any procedures. It could include information about a product, could show comparisons with different products, could include sales pitch too. Basically, content would be for a website or for digital marketing. And so mostly the content would include SEO, that is search engine optimization related terms, so that when a user searches in Google, their content will show up first. However, technical writers do not work with SEOs. Also, technical writing can include course creation, but will strictly be related to only the products of the company. Generally, there is another vertical which is not exactly technical writing but related to technical writing called instructional designing. These are the people who typically used to create courses for any product, like the training courses or onboarding courses and things like that. However, now these days, both these professions have kind of overlapped each other, and technical writers can also be a part of a team where there are instructional designers, where the tech writers actually provide the script and the instructional designers may create the actual videos. The creative content writing can generally showcases the creative writing styles of an author. But technical writing follows specific style guides like how we just saw. This is also because when there are multiple writers who are working on the same guide, all the content in the document should look like it was written by one person. This is one of the main reasons why style guides are followed so religiously in all the companies. You join as a technical writer at any level. When you join a company, the first thing you're told to do is go through their style guide to understand how they structure their documents, how to understand what is allowed, what is not allowed, how they write their headings, how they write their tasks, and so on. Now that brings us to, is can you really make a good career out of technical writing? Obviously, you start at a tech writer level, which can be from entry level to anywhere up to 8, 9, 10 years of experience too. You can be a senior technical writer. You move on to being a senior technical writer, which can be anywhere between 4 years of experience to 12, 13, 14, 15 years of experience too. Then you become a principal or a lead tech writer, which is beyond 16 years, 17 years of experience. But it could also be anywhere between 9 to 16 years also and above. Now, after these three levels, if you want to still these, though the principal tech writer is kind of a people role also, where they will have a senior tech writer and tech writers under them, but it is still a pretty individual role. And if you want to move into management part, then you can move on to becoming a manager tech writer, where they manage you know large teams of leads with senior tech writers and tech writers. So what is the difference between these roles? I'll come to information architect a little later. So technical writer would be given simple tasks. They will be working only on one project or a product, or just one part of a guide will be given to them to maybe update. And there will always be somebody who will be helping them out, like a senior technical writer who is reviewing their works and things. A senior technical writer would generally be working on multiple projects at a time. They will have larger documentation responsibilities, such as documenting for complete features and analyzing everything, what should go where and everything. Principal or a lead writer would be one step above, and where they will also give the timelines that needs to be followed and things like that. And manager obviously would be above that, and then it can go on to senior manager, even director level manager, director level technical writers also. Now, if you want to continue an individual capacity and do not want to get into management, then you get into information architect kind of roles. Now, information architect is somebody who are generally kind of content strategists. So all the information that you are developing as a tech writer, whether they are in PDFs, whether they are in online help, or whether they are web-based help also that they have these days, they are mainly responsible for determining how information across a website or application is displayed, especially the help information, which tools to be used for writing, how the information must be styled, and so on. However, these days, again, senior managers can also play this role. So if most of the companies information architect will be a single role, and there will be multiple tech writers, senior tech writers, leads and managers, but information architect will generally be one person. So many a times these roles are merged. Another thing you really need to know about technical writing career is the growth in terms of designation is very slow. Your role will change, as in instead of doing just the basic updates, you'll be given features to analyze and document, or you will have somebody under you, who not necessarily under you, but somebody whose work you will be overlooking or reviewing and things like that. But the number of years it takes to move on to the next level is quite large when compared to the other professions in software industry. Okay, that brings us to pretty much the end of the session. And now I'm sure you will be able to tell which of these are done by a technical writer and which of these are not. Anybody giving it a try? Yes, you're right. It is 1 and 5. It is 1 and 5. The owner's manual and the help file are created by technical writers. That brings us to anybody who has questions. Please go ahead. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.
This has been such an insightful session, and as we still have some time, we would like to throw open the floor for any questions you might have for Sabira. So please feel free to, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask directly, or post them in the chat box. So please utilize this time. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions.
Hi. How are the job opportunities on with this on this career path? Maybe.
So the technical writing market is improving, is becoming huge. Okay, the pays are getting better, and the job opportunities are ample, are
Okay.
really ample. Yeah.
Because I faintly kind of remember, rather very well remember, I had met one of the friends in UK. She was a technical writer to a IT company, and I was fascinated. I like writing, and I was fascinated at that time, but. Soon, got busy in my day-to-day life, so I couldn't forage much, and I didn't meet many of such people later on. So, I thought maybe, uh, maybe this is
Yeah.
not much sort of after kind of a career or something. But then I was very interested because I like
Oh no,
anything
the
related to,
right, right.
yeah.
You're right. So especially in India, it's a very, very fast growing field.
Okay.
Uh, for the company that I'm currently working for, we have 50 technical writers in the company.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, though definitely, if you compare it to the number of developers on the QA, we are much lesser, but
Yes.
it's not a very small number either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, I'll just come back with the question in a
Sure,
minute.
sure.
We have some
So,
more
okay.
questions in the chat
Yes.
box.
How does one apply for the post? So there are a lot of openings that you'll see. Generally, if you, okay, I think I will answer a couple of them combined. So they have asked, so I have done a course on technical writing from the Writers Block Institute. There are many institutes across India who give these courses and certifications along with that. So once you have a certification with you, it opens up doors because they know that you know something about these. And these courses will generally walk you through the ways of writing, some of the tools that we talked about, like a frame maker or a Word, how you would create a template in a Word to so that everyone follows the same style and things like that. So I would suggest, if you're really interested, pick up a course that suits you, and then that'll open up doors. And you can apply through so many openings are there. You'll find them on LinkedIn, and you just upload your profile on all these recruitment sites, like so many are there in India, and you will start getting calls. Or if you have any friends who are into software industry, especially like developers or QA, you can check with them if they have documentation team in their companies, and if there are openings. So there are multiple ways that you can go about it, but yes, you would need basic certification to get into the field if you are not from that field completely. In fact, to the level that if I'm not mistaken, some of the universities have started offering master's level courses in technical writing.
So are these courses available online also? Like we are like homemakers.
Yes, yes. Yes, after the pandemic, they are available online also.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, I am from Bangalore. I have done a course from the technical, the writer's block in Bangalore, but there are multiple options nowadays that are available where you can do these courses.
Like, is there a genuinity kind of a thing attached to the certification in case you are, doing your course from a genuine place, your certification is more valid or, worthwhile or something like that? Or,
Definitely. Not necessarily,
okay,
but yes, they will check you. Certification will tell the company that you do know some basics, because you will be entering at a basic level, right? At a
right,
very base level, at whatever age you are. Once you've done the course and you're entering, that will be at the base level. Salaries will be accordingly. And what they will check you, every technical writer at whatever level they are, either shifting jobs or entering a new job or whatever, has to give a written test. So they will
right.
test you on how much you have, how much understanding you have about technical writing. Now, obviously, depending on your years of experience, the tests keep changing and the complexity keeps changing. So at the very basic level, one, they will check you for your grammar, your English levels, and they will question you about the tools that you have learned, and if you have any idea about how to create a basic document on that and things like that. So if you have done a
Right.
course, you would have learned all these things.
Okay. And the job flexibility, like working from home or all those things
That,
are okay in this
yes,
field?
that is available, but it is completely company dependent.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it is
okay.
completely company dependent, but yes, you can work from home. uh, if you have proven that you can deliver on time and you're not missing on deliverables, then
Yeah.
they will, most of the time they do allow, but it is completely company dependent.
Yeah, yeah, I remember with that friend of mine, as I said, she used to come on under a bit of certain times stress that it became overloaded onto her. But then I understand, it depends, like
Yeah.
why it could be or something. But is it like that? Like, and as well as what I thought at that time when I was like, I was having like this kind of a conversation with her, wanting to do the course or wanting to know about it. So I was just thinking, will learning shorthand, that the olden days thing, learning shorthand and things like that would be an added help in case you want to come up to the expectations of delivering on time and stuff like that?
No, not
Okay.
needed at all. You only need to have good English and have
Okay.
learned the tools. I think there's Genevieve waiting to ask
Yeah,
a question.
yes. Ma'am, thank you so much. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry I joined around 10 minutes later, but it's
no
such an
issues.
insightful, webinar you've conducted. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I feel that my command of English is pretty good and would
Hmm.
love to get into technical writing, and definitely I will check this writer's block, etc. My question in the chat was,
Yes.
if see, I'm already a senior citizen, would that be an issue if I get a certification to get into the tech field, technical writing field?
So, yeah, that I'm not too sure of. I started my technical writing career at the age of 35, which is
Okay.
also not right out of college. And I have I have been growing in that same field till date. But I'm not too sure how a senior citizen would, I'm sorry to say this, but would
Yeah, yeah, I
really
do
get into
understand.
the
That's
work
why
field.
I.
But
Hmm.
having said that, if you do try out learning from a decent institute, from say maybe try going to a good reputed institute and get your certification done, then there are a lot of freelance opportunities that you can definitely do.
Right. And then does it happen that, if you're very good at it, you can, land better and better projects? It's like that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
In freelance, it definitely is like that.
Right.
I personally do know people who were working in corporate, but started freelance and then left the corporate job and have gone completely into freelance technical writing.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yes. So the options are always there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for a
You're welcome.
wonderful,
You're
wonderful
welcome.
session.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
So we had some more questions waiting. I'll just read them out in case they still are left any unanswered. Chitra had asked about how does one apply for the post. Afroz had said if there are any courses for technical writing. I believe you have answered some of them along the way.
Yes. Yes, I guess.
Also, would you be able to tell us how the pay scales are for a tech writer? That was one of the questions I think Genevieve posted. So.
Yes. So technical writing, generally the rule of thumb is like you start at anything, I don't know, 15, 20K, 25K per month, and then move on. It depends on what companies you have been joining, where you have been working. It is really very, very subjective to where you have been.
All right, thank you. I think Rajni has a question for us. Rajni, you could unmute and ask. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Ma'am, both IIM and British Council offer technical writing course. Which according to
Yes.
you is better?
It would depend. See, IIM, is it offering you the course in physical classes, or is it online? Because I
It's
honestly
online.
haven't looked into that much. So, sorry?
It's online. I looked
Then
it
I
up.
think
It's
both
online.
would be equally good. Both would be equally good. Most of the companies that we write for, especially if they're American companies, we have to learn to write in American English, right? Where all the S's become Z's,
Right.
and color drops out the U, right? So when you join any technical writing course in India, generally you would be taught how to use those kind of small changes to make it more Americanized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There was another question about if you could, paste the link of where you have done your course, maybe later on after the session.
Yeah. Or you can just Google Writer's Block Bangalore.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I do not exactly know where they are anymore. I mean, I'm sure they're there, but you can just, go ahead, type it, Google it, and you will get all the information out there. In fact, not just the Writer's Block, check out a lot of other places that can offer technical writing course, because a lot of other institutes, I've met people who have done wonderful job learning from other institutes too. So
all right.
The
we have
duration, yes. Thank you, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
Sabina,
go
can you
ahead.
read
No,
that?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would be
Okay.
the duration of the course and the fee? Was another some more questions.
Yeah, so the duration of the course that I did was a 3-month course. Okay, it was obviously I did it long back, and there was nothing like pandemic or online option at that time, and it was a full-time 3-month course, and the fee, I really don't know, but I'm so sorry about that. But I think the fees for these courses vary from institute to institute. There's no real standard, but you can take anything in the bracket of maybe 30 to 40 or 50K for the whole course. But definitely, if you're looking at any institute, do check out what are the things that they have in their syllabus. You can reach out to me if you want me to go through their syllabus. I can help you out there, definitely.
Thank you for
so
answering.
much. Thank you so much. That was really very kind of you, very helpful, because that will be a great guide for us, because we won't know exactly, in which way to
Right.
take up the.
Does Rajni have another question or her hand is raised?
No, Mama, I don't. No,
Okay.
I don't.
There's another question waiting in the chat box. How early did you get the placement once you finished your tech writing course from Farhad?
I finished my tech writing course around April, May, and I started applying in June, and within a couple of months I had a job. Yes.
Okay, that's great. So another question from Chitra. What's your basic degree and like what would be your
Yes.
background? Is what she's
So
asking.
I've done my graduation as BCom, but I did my master's in public personal management, which is humanities. So, yeah.
So I think we're at the end of our program today, and there have been some amazing questions that have been asked, and the session has been extremely insightful overall. Thank you very much, Ms. Sabira, for your valuable time. And since technical skill writing seems to be like a vast topic, this has definitely been a fine start.
Yes.
So
I hope so.
yeah, it is. It is. So as you can see in the chat box, we have the Google form link, which we'd really appreciate if everyone could fill out for your suggestions and what you'd like to see next for us to organize. That would be great. Also, the links are all on for you. Our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn page links. Our handle is @MBYC, MB Youth Club actually. So Mahdi Bagh Youth Club conducts such workshops and skill development programs on a regular basis. We have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous workshops. The link is in the chat session, like I said, for you to check out. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Please follow us on all of these platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. On our handle, as I was saying, was @MB Youth Club. Please follow it and you'll get a lot more of updates. With the constant support of Mahdi Bagh Youth Club President, Mr. Moinuddin Malak, we certainly hope to have many more such informative sessions brought to you in the future. And just as a final word, before we leave, once again, please fill out the Google form. This is especially helpful for us. So thank you one and all, and see you all in the next session. Bye.
Thank you, Sabira ma'am, and thank you to you too, because it is a blessing in disguise. This thing came in across to me. I was just thinking, like, okay, now seems like I'm having some like extra time. What shall I do? So this information came to me at the right time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you
We're
for
very
joining.
happy that you could
Thank
join.
you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On behalf of Mahdi Bagh Youth Club Skill and Entrepreneurship Committee, I would like to thank Sabira ma'am for taking such an insightful session. It was a treat listening to you and got to learn such a lot of things. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining in. And do stay updated with us and keep joining our sessions that will be coming up very soon. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank everyone once again for joining in the session. Thank you for all the questions and queries and being patient with me throughout the session. Thank you so much. And yes, my heartfelt thanks to President of MBYC, Mr. Moin Malak, Vice President, Mr. Noor Malak. Thank you, Sabina, for moderating this session. Thank you, Arifa, Shakil, and all the MBYC team. Thank you so much. The design team, everybody. Thank you so much.
It was our pleasure.